Well, this Thanksgiving is certainly going to feel different this year, so why not change up some of your traditional recipes? Local craft beer isn't just the perfect complement to many dishes, it can be the star ingredient too. Jackie Dodd Mallory, better known as the Beeroness, is with us this morning to cook up some of the perfect fall flavors with your favorite beers. Good morning, Jackie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited to dig into these recipes because you're talking to a turkey brining family. So we have long brined our turkey, and you have a brine recipe now with beer. Do tell me more.
Well, I think this year even our turkey needs some alcohol,
Uh-huh.
so we brine the turkey in. I use this apricot ale from Pyramid Brewing, which is a Heritage Pacific Northwest brand. And this apricot ale is also really great. It's very agreeable beer. It will go really well with everything that you serve at Thanksgiving. And so I'm just going to pour this so you guys can check it out. So I think the question is, why would you brine your turkey in beer?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the great thing about brining in beer is meat can get really dried out. I mean, your turkey's in the oven for a really, really long time. So if you brine it, you're able to season the inside of the turkey. And beer is a natural meat tenderizer, so it is going to get into your turkey and it is going to give it a ton of flavor with all the salt and spices that you have in your brine. And then while it's in the oven, it's going to be able to stay sort of juicy and delicious, even if you maybe cook it a little too long, which some people tend to do because they're afraid of undercooking.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I wanted to mention is if you are having a small gathering, which I hope you are, I definitely am, is you can do the same brine recipe if you just buy a breast and two legs, and it's going to also turn out fantastic.
Oh,
So
interesting. I never thought of that. Yeah, you could just brine some smaller pieces and not the whole bird. Yeah, I am all in on brining a turkey. I think it's the secret, but you do have to kind of plan ahead of time. So how long do you suggest this brine for your bird?
this, I call it the Tuesday brine because you start on Tuesday, you brine your turkey for an entire day, and then you take it out of the brine, dry it off, and then you're going to leave it in the fridge uncovered. And this sounds like scary and counterintuitive to a lot of people, but that's going to dry out the skin, which is what you want, because then when you cook it, your bird is still completely full of the brine, and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have a juicy bird, and the skin's going to get crisp. So that's the secret to the crispy skin.
Ooh.
Um, this is the turkey that I brined with apricot ale. And then I made these, which are fun because they're individually portioned, which right now I think that individual portions are great for a smaller Thanksgiving, makes it seem kind of special. And then with this, you could use the apricot ale for this, but I use this IPA from Assembly Brewing, which is a newer Portland brewery in Southeast Portland that, right now we got to support our local businesses. So
Okay. Yeah, this is your sausage, kale, and beer stuffed acorn squash. That sounds awesome.
So I am going to teach you how to do this. It sounds scary. It looks really just super, super fancy and impossible, but it is really easy. You take this acorn squash and notice that it has like a pointed end on it.
Uh-huh.
What you're going to do is just cut that off because this is going to be sort of, for lack of a better term, the bottom of your bowl. So you want it flat so it will sit up in this cute little bowl sort of shape.
Okay.
And the top off, and it doesn't matter, how much you cut off. You want to cut off kind of the big portion, and you're going to kind of scoop it out the way you do a pumpkin. So that it's a squash is kind of very similar to that. So you're going to see it looks a lot like a pumpkin. And so I take a melon baller just because it's, for me, the easiest. And I just, you just are going to scoop out the insides. It's going to look a lot like your, pumpkins that you carve. So you just scoop all that out. And then you just drizzle a little olive oil on it and put it on a baking sheet, and you just bake it sort of top down, and you bake it at 400 for about 30 minutes. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done.
Oh,
It's,
wonderful. And we're running short on time, but then you're going to bring the beer into some of the stuffing, right?
so I made this stuffing with the IPA. You can also make it with the apricot ale. You just fill it, sprinkle it with cheese, rebake it, and you've got your little stuffing bowls all set.
Gosh, yum. Okay, these both look delicious. Beeroness, Jackie, thank you as always for these awesome recipes. We're going to put the full recipes and more tips from our Beeroness on coin.com. Thank you so much and have a happy holiday.